Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
And welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
Woo! The things I gotta tell you is hot up underneath here. Good God Almighty. We're wrestling with life tonight. Like WCW up in here. But first of all, I want to say brought to you by Dispose. This is a garbage company in a time of need you can call on. We know what's going on right now with the carnivore. With the carnivore, my bad. With all the things that's going on in the world. You still might need to clean up your home. And your business need to clean up. Dispose can bring a can out to you.
Okay.
So let us serve you at a time that's going to be of need, but I want to be a help. This is the time that we don't need to fight. We need to find how we can make our business come together and help one another at a desperate time of need and not depend on the government. So Dispose is trying to lend its hand to you to help you at these times. So hit us up on our website, or again, you can call me directly. And my direct number is 770-286-7526. That's my personal number. And I can take care of all your needs at Dispose. Now, I got to get back to the people that's rocking with me, even though I had this hot-ass mask on and I was sweating like crazy. Don't none of y'all take my temperature at this point in time. But I'm rocking with my man, Craftmatic. How you doing tonight, Big Bang Bang?
Man, I'm doing good, bruh. Doing good. Just got a lot on my mind, a lot on my shoulders, as you well know.
Right.
And we're going to talk about a lot of it tonight.
Yes,
but I'm doing good, bruh. Life is continuing to challenge me, and I'm continuing to face them and cross my barriers.
Tough time, and you still glowing, bro.
Yeah, man.
See, that's that tenacity that I love about you.
Yeah.
Because you find a way no matter what. Now, the person sitting next to you calls you nothing but heartache.
Right.
And I like to say this is Buddha in the building. Big Buddha, how you doing, big baby?
Really? That caused nothing but heartache?
I mean, to him.
Damn.
I'm
doing good.
I mean,
I'm doing good.
You doing good?
I'm doing very well.
Yes,
I mean, you're going to get 3 minutes, and you can't be too good.
Hey, I'm on. That's why I'm so well.
Okay.
It sounds like y'all at odds already.
I mean,
Listen, let's just take a moment to introduce ourselves.
All right.
This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay.
Hot Jay.
We got Buddha in the house.
Well, no, we're about to change the name.
What's the name?
It's going to be Sir 3 now.
Sir 3.
Sir 3.
Sir 3. We
Sir
got
3.
Sir 3 in the house. And we are simply here to liberate your mind with inspirational dialogue. We're going to have a fantastic discussion tonight about today's topic and the sign of the times. And we hope that you can find yourself in it. We hope that there's some inspiring dialogue here about our experiences and our plans and our opinions on the subject. We hope that it helps you in one way or another. We're going to have a whole lot of fun here, but keep in mind, this is about healing and helping people to become their greatest possibilities. So we thank you for being here with us tonight. And of course, we always start our show off with a prayer. Would you like to pray for us tonight?
No, man, I'm gonna let you hit it, bro. You get, if y'all don't hear the prayers before the show, Kraft be giving us and delivering us to make us really think about how we want to deliver. Because the deliverance is off of what he has for us, more so than what we want to do. So help bring them to what I already felt.
Okay, you got a one word for me on this subject?
On tonight, let's work in the healing.
Gotta work in the area of healing. Okay? And so much needs to be healed. Let's just take it to the Lord for a moment. Heavenly Father, we thank you right now for your grace and your mercy and your power and your gifts of the Spirit that you have given us in this life. And we do not take for granted your power and your strength and your love for us. And we ask, Heavenly Father, that you would reveal a perfect healing tonight in this whole situation. We ask that you would relieve our minds and hearts of the stresses and worries and pressures of this situation. We ask, Father, that you would fill this world with an anointing and that you would come against those who would come against the children of God. We ask, Heavenly Father, that you would restore our faith in you and that you would give us an understanding that allows us to feel and be more powerful than this problem and than this situation. We will not back down. We will not drown ourselves in worries and sorrows and fears. We are a people of strength and courage, and we will stand up to this challenge. And we know that we are victorious right now, Heavenly Father. We thank you for victory tonight, Father, over all of these challenges. And we ask the Father that you would come into this room, be a part of this show, and do your good and perfect work. Say what you would say, and say what you would have us to say, and just let it be whole, perfect, and complete. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Oh, that was deep.
Amen.
That was deep.
Amen.
Appreciate you. Perfect prayer. Because right
You
now,
know, you know what's coming out of it, out
What's
of that
coming?
prayer for me, man,
what you feel?
is that the world seems to feel, and just based on circumstances, a worldly circumstance,
Right.
that there is an enemy against you.
Mm-hmm.
And what we are all dealing with is this enemy. It seems to be unknown, and it seems to have so many different faces, potential faces. And so now the world is riddled with fear. And I'm asking you folks to lean on the Spirit of God and release your fear unto Him, because He will guide your way. If you know God and you know His works in the world, you will be comforted by just being in Christ. And we're going to talk a lot about that tonight, but that's what was coming through my mind as I was praying.
All right.
That people are dealing with these enemies, and we don't know how to fight the enemy sometimes, especially in the spirit.
Right.
You know? And that's what we're fighting, a spiritual enemy. So we're going to go ahead and move right into our programming for tonight. And we just wanted to get together. Jay and I had a conversation earlier in the week, and we were considering canceling the show for tonight. And he said, no, man, this is the time that we got to stand in the fold. This is when we need to be speaking out about what we feel and what we think our voice is important. And so that's why we're here tonight. And we want to have a meaningful discussion about this new challenge in the world called the coronavirus, and its impact and effects on our lives and the world to come. It seems as though that we have been under a lot of duress here in the United States.
Right.
And this past few years of the new administration has just turned the world upside down in America. And I presume that in some way that is a good thing. But now we are seeing the upside down happen all over the world. In every major city, there is a feeling of panic behind this virus. And there are many stories that are out. There's so many stories. We don't know what to believe. We don't know what to think about, what to lean on. And I did a talk, a Kobe response, and I talked about how, we should never ask God why, but we can always ask the world why. And there are a lot of questions to be asked and answered in this scenario, and I'm not really sure where we want to start at. I just want to kind of to fluff the subject.
Oh, no worry, I got one.
Yeah.
Because of the coronavirus,
Go ahead.
I need to let everybody know it got my Cash App on quarantine. Okay? So I'm going to let y'all know while we going through all this, don't y'all request nothing from me. Don't expect nothing from me. And if you owe me, I still accept. Okay? My quarantine is going out, not coming in. So if you owe me, this is no excuse not to pay me. Now, if you feel a certain way about paying because you ain't working, you didn't think about that when you borrowed that damn money from me. So you find a way to get that back, okay? And don't think about coming and giving it to me in person.
Yeah.
I got my mom, she on lockdown. No, you will be sprayed down coming up in here. We take it serious. That's why I got the war mask on. We at war, but I'm not fighting you. I'm trying to help you. Because if you really need help, you might not want to come here. Because I have to consolidate and make sure things are straight here first on the forefront. And then I can go out and do more work. So again, I'm just saying up front, this has gave me a quarantine on my Cash App. Because it's been hitting throughout the year.
Yeah.
Like wildfire.
Yeah. Well, listen. Wait till you see what happens after 2 weeks of people being out of their job.
I already want it. That's why I did it.
Yeah, they didn't
I seen this before the curve.
Yeah, I wish we had that kind of coverage, but they probably didn't hear that.
Well, anyway,
it's about to get real serious.
One of the things I'm gonna tell y'all, We trying to get. I'm gonna have some fun. That's why I did that quarantine thing. Seriously, don't be trying to request that from me. I did that on the front because we love him. But I'm having some fun with it. Okay? Because again, this situation can be very scary, and then there's a lot of people who want to panic. And I like to say this is a time that we need to come together and think about what we're doing ahead of time. So again, everybody ran out to grab all the toilet paper. Okay, and again, all this is not over the virus. They know what's going on in China, paper goods, so they try to make sure they're covered. I don't understand why some of the stores didn't know this and try to do less people to buy all these, because again, one person getting greedy. And that's what happens when you get lax in America, because you get a little bit of money, you feel like you got more power, you can do whatever you want. And my people are covered, and I don't care about the rest. This is the negative to what's going on here that I like to say even the government is helping with. I like to say this is the time we come together and we start checking on one another. They already said it elderly. There should be a damn reason that if you know somebody of age, you ain't calling them and looking after them. I ain't saying run over there, because I don't know if you're carrying anything or not. I have to go to work myself. So I'm not quick to go to anyone's house because I'm out there in the element every day. I want to make sure that I check on somebody by phone. Make sure they okay. If it's something I need to drop off and do, then I'm going to see what I can do. That's what I'm talking about compared to just letting them sit in a nursing home and all the rest of these places when they care for us for so long. Yeah. That's the negative in some of this. And this is where I say, and you look at what God has for us, I look at our decision making in us. He had it where we took care of one another. We looked after. Now we getting so sedidity and we in the phones and technology that we feel like they're all right. Well, they made sure we was all right. And now we're not doing the same. But we expect better and more. I made more money than they did. And you show less respect. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be for the fact that they didn't make as much as you. They gave to you. They probably could have made more money if they didn't took the time to homeschool you, because your bad behind couldn't even go to school. And they did everything else for you. But now you want to talk about them because now you went to college. They sacrificed to get your behind there. And now you want to think, and I probably see you down there on Florida on the beach having fun during this whole situation. Yeah, I'm talking about some of them.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Because while you're having fun, we're going through a crisis. And I want to get you to realize we can do so much more than partying. We can actually come together and get us all by this as much as possible, but without contaminating everyone. Because the numbers are only going to go up. Gentlemen, I promise you, they ain't test everyone, so don't be surprised the number and curfews come in. Yeah. Look at other countries, you'll see it.
Curfews are already out in Georgia.
Yeah,
Fulton County went first.
For anyone.
No, actually, Athens went first.
Did it?
Yeah, they have a
9 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
9 to 7.
Yeah.
Fulton just took theirs.
Oh,
so
really?
Athens, Fulton County just took theirs.
Anquinet.
So Kyle's going to be next.
Wow.
So again, that's why I made sure I did the show tonight.
We need to stay in the same zone here. We covered calling family and toilet paper and taking and partying. We need to slow down a little bit. Let's discuss a little bit. It's outstanding stuff, but I think we want to make sure to give people some some nuggets to go home with. And I love call family. And there are people who stood in the gap for you.
Yeah.
And it's now time to have a whole new level of stand in the gap. It really means something very different to us all today. I think about if there were some kind of tussle, if there was some kind of rally, fight, brawl, if there was some kind of major disagreement in the street, it's supposed to be us on that front line.
Yeah, but the thing, you talking about a tussle.
Well, right. I'm just talking about if things get heated up. Our ancestors have done what they needed to do. I'm talking now. It's time for us to stand up. That's what I'm talking about, standing in the gap again, right? Mm-hmm. It's time for us to stand up as leaders in this community and do whatever needs to be done, right? That is from calling your family, etc., etc. But perhaps in a few days, you might need neighborhood watch at the end of your street.
Exactly.
And you need to be participating in that.
And that's what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Like, people are losing jobs. we're going into city curfews, and pretty soon it'll be a statewide curfew, right? So the industry that's really booming right now is the gun and the ammo industry.
Yes.
Because you can go to any gun shop, pawn shop, bruh, it's hard to get ammo right now. It's hard to get ammo because the pandemic has gotten people in the mind of an epidemic. It's just like, you know, what's the movie, Walking Dead?
Mm-hmm.
People are stocking up like it's about to be The Walking Dead.
Yeah. And listen, that's what happens when people don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Right? When people don't see why the
People are panicking.
people are panicking, and when people panic, when they don't know, when you don't have proper leadership
Understanding.
and you're sending proper messages to the people, they panic. Yeah, and that's
Right.
why they empty the toilet paper off
Right.
the shelves, and they don't know no better, because in
Don't
a
worry.
very short period of
I'm
time,
stocking up on ammo.
it could truly become survival of the fittest. It's truly come survival of the fittest. This could become a world like we've never known before.
Exactly.
And especially if the military gets involved and there's something else. So, you know, I want to stay on track here. The point to make here is that it's time for everybody to stand up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And if, I know a young lady, she's a teacher, and she is still teaching. You know, from 8 to 4 online, she grading papers, she calling parents, you know, actively engaged. They're not sitting at home lounging. They're still working, and they're still grinding. And so we got to always be putting our best foot forward during these times. And I don't think the point can be made any better.
And
Can you
my hat's off to her.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But you know, and you know,
And them and all the ones that's doing great work
Yeah.
and continue to do work.
there's a lot of people.
And I know we're going to miss them.
Absolutely.
I just want to make sure I say,
Absolutely.
Bartol with Jay commends you.
There's so many of them. There's so many constituencies that are still grinding behind the curve. You know, behind the, you know, especially our politicians, especially the manufacturing and resource community. Everybody's on fire trying to get some of these needs taken care of. The health industry is just, you know, they're on 100,000% right now. The healthcare industry in and of itself. And so you got people in hospitals, and you got people sick, and you got not enough nurses and doctors, and you got, you know, maybe, you know, not enough knowledge about the stuff that's going on, and you know, the resources are shallow in every way. There is a extreme amount of lack that is happening in our communities, you know. So you know, I wanted to make this point just a moment ago. Can you stand up to be your greatest possibility during this situation if you are out partying?
I like to say probably not. 'Cause at that point, you're not taking it too serious. I mean, say if I'm able to party now, I'm not really looking at the situation.
Right. Because
This is-
partying requires lots of germs.
Yeah, it does. A lot of drinking, a lot of kicking it. But one of the things I like to say, this is that time where you can actually sit back and
Time out.
What?
He said party requires a lot of germs.
Oh, absolutely. You know
Hold on,
what I'm saying?
time out. What kind of party are you talking about?
I mean, you don't party by yourself. Lots of people congregating. You know what I'm saying? Dancing, hanging out, drinking, bar. You know,
okay.
salt shakers. You know, liquor bottles.
Phil,
door
what
handles.
kind of germs you think about?
Bathrooms, what you think
I'm
about?
just trying to get clarity. Sounds like you had another party.
Yeah, I bet the world already got it. You had to bring it out.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It sounds like he said party requires a lot of germs.
Party requires a lot of
I was
germs.
just trying to get
It
clarity on
requires-
what type of party he was referring to.
Yeah, usually
I'm just
require
saying.
being in places where people have spent many a nights sweating and grinding on each other. Clubs and bars, that's what happens in those places. So, no, you cannot be your greatest possibility out partying, right? You cannot be your greatest possibility, right? I think it's just about time. Yeah, it's about time for us to go to break, because I want to get into some of these deeper subjects, and let me just give an example of a few of them that I want to cover. We're going to talk a little bit about the media response. Let's talk about if, you know, some people don't believe this is real. Some people don't really believe it's real. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about.
I like the media response. I don't like the administration.
Yeah. I'm just tagging it so we can go to break. We're missing a certain quality of government leadership. We want to talk about world health. There's so many subjects to talk about, and we're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. I hope you folks are enjoying the show. I hope this is making a meaningful difference in how you see the world, and maybe an opportunity to just discuss it a little bit. So stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Appreciation to all the people that show up at my show. Again, I got Booby behind the scenes. Adrian wasn't able to make it. Crazy. Oh man, she always in the building doing her thing. Barbara, down in Macon, Georgia, holding it down for us. Again, we're going through so much that we got to push some people away from the scene.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I have to be responsible. You can't just say, okay, this ain't real, and just keep everything going because you enjoying what you do. That means you ain't responsible in what you do. I'm responsible for y'all well-being. I had a vision to bring this together, and one thing I do is I care about y'all and y'all family. So if you ain't able to make it because of what's going on, they got curfews going out, I have to be responsible to look at it and say, am I making great progress where I don't care about my people? That means I am hardened. I do not care to run nothing that I have to not care about my people. It's just about me and the wealth of mine. I feel like that is the status of time, where that's where everybody want to be, but that ain't where I want to be. I want that people can still look at me and respect me for the fact that I'm making decisions because I care about you and yours. Not just me and how much profit I can make off of you. How about the fact that I care for you? Now, you ain't gonna get this from everyone, and I don't think that we should think anything different. I just feel like there's businesses closing because they care, and some people are mandated. I feel like there's also some things we can do voluntarily to show our appreciation, our care. If you can do some things for your people, you know, they're looking for the government for whatever they might do if you're sitting at home. If you work for an organization, I'm not understanding why an organization can't do something for you. Take some of that profit. There's gonna be a loss anyway. And continue to help your people.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, Jay, and one that I just think requires a lot of kind of a round of applause, a standing ovation. For those of you who are managers and leaders, stepping up to the plate means taking care of your people. And there are many of you who will have an opportunity to fight for your people. You will have an opportunity to fight for all those people who come to work every day and have made your business happen perhaps for years now. They have taken care of your company. They have taken care of your customers. They have taken care of your vendors. They have taken care of your paperwork. They have taken care of your business. And now it's time to take care of those people. Exactly. Don't just run with your million bazillions of profit and think that there's not a price to pay, because there is. To those who are given much, much is expected and much is required. And so those of you who have management and leadership responsibilities, and that may mean just parenting your own household, we gotta care for our constituency. That's the only thing that's going to make this work. Because the very moment that we begin to turn on one another, our lives are pretty much over for a long time to come. Right? Because when we start turning against one another, somebody's going to have to take control. And that means they're going to have to take control by force. And even those of us who are innocent are not willing to go get in scuffles and fights and taking stuff from other people, not caring about other people. We're still going to be the victims of your actions. So make sure that you're taking care of your people. Right? This world is nothing without people. There's oceans and there's rocks and there's other life in the world, but people make all the difference. And this is a taking care of people type scenario that we're in right now. I can't say that anymore. I hope that I'm inspiring somebody to do what needs to get done. to handle business through this scenario. And again, look out for those who are in the trenches with you, so to speak, in your business and your professions. You know,
I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times you just gotta take the lead.
Absolutely.
I promise you, I have a business partner that's right there with me, and sometimes you just gotta take the lead. What it need to be is off your experience in life taught you to be. I already went through hell already, and I ain't went through no hell that anybody else didn't go through it themselves. But I also learned that through the hells I've been through, I ain't trying to repeat. So again, if you are understanding of the lessons that was taught to you, why are you willing to repeat them? Because somebody else is telling you something different. Mm-hmm. If it don't measure up and it don't make sense, I try to Google and I try to make sense of it. Because everything ain't for me.
Excellent point.
Exactly.
Excellent point. Because we wanted to talk about, some people don't believe this is real.
Okay.
And is it real? Is it real?
Well, I'm putting it like this. If you don't believe it's real, do me a favor. Go ahead and start Googling other places. Because everybody thinks it's just here. This happened in China. This is I have somebody that's in Spain.
Yeah,
this is over there. So when this epidemic, and then there's other kind of epidemics going on right now.
Yeah, it's worldwide.
But here's the point that I'm making.
That's different from that.
When I say that they don't believe it, they believe maybe there is a sickness, a virus that have been spread. They've been doing that for years. I do believe.
Yeah, but
if those people who believe that it's a conspiracy theory aren't going to respond the same way.
I agree, but Kraft, HIV, hell, they ain't believing that because they still ain't covering up.
Right.
So why in the world would they want to believe this? All you got to do is look at our trends and habits. 30 million people that they know of in the United States. That's a very high number. So obviously, it's a lot of people who ain't believing it. Okay. So that doesn't. Well, I know you're not, but you're talking about again what was going on, and we're trying to say, bring focus to life. They obviously ain't believing it if they still doing the same thing. So you ain't gonna believe this.
Here's the question. All right. There may be a reason for alarm, but we've been to some degree made to feel like we are in panic mode. There are a lot of people who are feeling that way. Yeah, right. You know, the average person is like, hey, what's going on here? And they're scared and they're fearful. And what others are saying is that, yeah, there was a virus that was released, or, you know, it was known that this virus was doing something over in other parts of the world. But the underlying effort is to create upset and distraction in the world to perhaps win the White House again.
Okay.
And that the numbers are only, like the death tolls are about 4 to 5%. They've been 4 to 5% for many different ailments in the world, but there's never been a reason to call world chaotic. So, you see what I'm saying? Like right. There's
that's
not.
Only,
tell me something about that.
That's only if you're looking in the U.S. That's only.
No. That's everywhere. That's worldwide.
What
about
I'm saying
4.5%.
That's only if you're looking in the U.S.
That's everywhere.
What's actually going on is generational curse breaking. Because if you're only focusing on what's going on in the United States, and you're not looking at in other countries and other areas of the world, you see the generational curse being broken, and in the process of being broken, because the locust infestation,
right,
what's going on right now. A lot of people not even thinking about that because they're so focused on what's going on in the U.S. But if you know how history is written, you can see it breaking.
And I'm gonna go with you on that one, because the locust, and you got this one right now with the coronavirus, and you don't want to believe in anything. That's because that's a choice, and I ain't mad at you. That's your choice. I'm not tripping it. But let's just look at the fact that all these things was written way back in the day.
Exactly.
So I don't know where you at. And I ain't trying to tell you the end of the world, and I'm not one of the ones that going to give you conspiracy. I'm going to tell you, how about looking after mankind in the way they need to be and going back and reading for yourself Because what you don't want to recognize is your own damn behavior.
So
I don't want to believe it because I'm loving where I'm at. I promise you, it's more to realize than where you at. Where you at right now, that's just a small place.
I'm playing devil's advocate here for those people who don't believe it, right?
Okay.
You gonna play devil's advocate?
I'm just asking the question, right? Because I've heard several theories that you can't deny any of those theories because they all have some forms of validity. But so this virus is it come from something natural or is it man-made?
It's been here. This is nothing new.
It's nothing new.
No, it's a common cold. It's just a more aggressive.
Well, why would you upset the entire world over a common cold?
Because
come on, man, you ain't giving me no answers here.
No, hold on.
Come on. That's what I'm saying. There's things to be a conspiracy going on. How are you going to shut the whole world down on a common cold?
You want to go first?
You don't want. Oh, now it ain't that bad. It's just a common cold.
Phil, you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Yeah, okay. Please go first.
It's a common cold.
Okay, we shut the world down for a common cold.
It's a common cold.
Okay.
It's just more It's a more aggressive strain. It's just like when you have the flu. You have a more aggressive strain that you have not been able to deal with. It's the same thing with any other disease that's man-made. You have an aggressive strain that you have not prepared for. The reason that it's so strong and it's a pandemic right now is because this strain is either one or two things that happens with this strand. Once you have this strand, you either get better or you die. Simple as that.
There are staggering statistics to say that people from 59 to 89 are the most significant number of people dying. That sounds like population control.
And the reason being is the immune system.
Right.
Nothing more, nothing less. It's just like the flu. The flu processes into pneumonia.
Right.
Pneumonia processes into walking pneumonia.
Listen, they say
it's the same thing.
They say you take care of it like a cold.
Hold on.
And then
can I have some fun, gentlemen? I love y'all dialogue.
Okay.
Come on.
But let me give you something that I'm gonna give you reality to.
Something.
Remember, you kept saying to me earlier. You said you bringing up HIV. Okay, now you got 30 million people with HIV. That's been these people that they got a record. Okay, there's probably numbers higher than that. You got them now in the United States. Okay, so now you got that going around. They got little treatments for it. They ain't trying to cure too many. Got a cure, but they ain't gonna give that out. They got to treat it. Okay, now you get this strain that's already been out, and now you expose that. Now you're going to find out it ain't the elderly you need to be concerned with, but I'm not going to take the focus off of that. I'm just going to be honest with you. If you have an immune deficiency, that means if you got HIV, which means you ain't even go get tested for it, you're not, and please understand what I'm saying to you, you're not going to make it. But the one thing you need to know about this strain, it attacks your lungs. So don't worry about the Walking Dead. I swear to you, if you get this, your ass will not be able to breathe. If you ever had asthma and you watch a person having an asthma attack, they really ain't trying to fight you. I promise you. They don't have the wind capacity. They are dying with lack of oxygen. It is a horrible situation. So when I'm telling you, you might not want to believe it can happen to you. I'm just saying, if you got an immune deficiency, if you know you HIV positive, then you don't need to be going around certain people. And that don't mean you are old. You can be very young with this. And you don't need to be exposed to a person that has it because they have an immune system that's strong enough that they can recover. Now you're going to see mass death because you are ignorant to your own health.
Right.
And that's all I'm saying. So don't be worried about it. Just know that affects.
Have you gentlemen ever heard of it? You're hearing. I just want to share these various conspiracies to our audiences tonight. I'm not a proponent of any of them, but I am lobbying because there's something under the current. I remember President Trump saying a few days ago. He said that no,
it's a hoax.
Even President
People that
Trump,
died and never died.
Even Trump said that we are facing an enemy that we can't see. And he wasn't talking about coronavirus. So you have no belief that perhaps there's a germ warfare going on here?
So let me ask you a question. As you are playing devil's advocate,
Yeah.
I need to get clarity. So you're saying it's a conspiracy, and the reason is for population control.
Part of it.
Okay, so if that's your theory, explain the locus.
You can't explain the locus.
Okay, so explain the locus and the virus at the same time.
I can't explain the locus.
So how can you say it's a conspiracy?
Well, I happen to be listening to
I'm just saying.
an extreme number of VIPs on the subject. We're all doing our research. We're all doing
Okay.
our homework. We're all, we're tapped into world intelligence. And and if you spend quality time going in to these numbers, these statistics, there are people who are looking at these statistics like this is not making sense. This isn't making sense that a virus that has the same death toll as many of the viruses that have come before, this particular virus is creating a world panic.
So
And let me just give my resource. One of my favorite resources.
Since you're playing devil's advocate and you're saying it doesn't make sense, can you make sense of God?
Yeah, I made complete sense of God.
Okay, how?
I believe in it. That's all that's necessary.
Okay.
I believe in it.
So
And I believe that he's telling me
So if you take that same
the enemy.
same knowledge and acceptance
I like
of
this.
who God is,
Okay.
how can you say and how can you believe that it's population control? If you read the Bible and it shows, hey,
I'm glad
this is what I'm going to send
Right.
to show you that I'm about to make a generational curse break.
Don't you
So
see?
we have a locust epidemic,
Okay.
and then we have the corona
Okay.
at the same time. But
Okay.
you're going to say it's a conspiracy because it's creating a pandemic.
Listen, stop talking to me about the locust. You keep trying to argue that with
But
me. I don't
no,
want to talk about the
this is-
locust.
this
I
is
have
fact.
no knowledge
This
of the
is-
locust.
this is
Okay, I
fact.
give it to you. You
Right.
have all
This
of
is
that.
fact.
But don't put none of that on me. That's
This
what I'm
is
saying
fact.
in the
This is-
discussion. I'm saying I ain't got no troubles
I
with the
read
locust.
BBC. I just
What
don't read
what I'm suggesting
the
is
local news and the local newspaper.
See,
I read the BBC,
watch
which
this.
is world news.
watch this. Does the Bible, in your opinion, insinuate in any way that Trump just might be the man riding the white horse
The pale
in,
white- the pale white
in
horse?
Revelation? I just
The-
wonder if
the
you,
pale white horse.
yeah, do you believe that Trump just does it look like you want to bring in the locusts? Okay,
No, okay,
the locusts are part of it.
no.
and-
You
Come on,
want my honest opinion?
Why would I ask? Yeah, of course.
Why wouldn't he be?
Well, then the warning is happening. This is
That
what I'm
doesn't
saying.
mean that it's the end
warning,
of the
see,
world.
What
It
you're
doesn't mean that it's the end
Okay,
of
let
the
me-
world.
let me make this point.
It's stating
Let me
that
make this point.
a generational curse is about to be broken.
You're using language that we're not really understanding where you're coming from.
It comes from the Bible. What do you mean? How can you not understand the words that come out of the Bible?
No.
So you're saying the
you're
generational curse
misusing
is
it.
not mentioned in the Bible?
No, I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying you're using it in a way that is suggesting that hell and damnation is about to come on those who are not God's people. And I
No,
truly believe that.
That's not what I'm saying.
I truly. Well, what are you saying then, Phil?
I'm saying it is a process.
Generational
for-
curse means that something is coming against those who have taken advantage of God's people. That's what generational curse. This curse is about to be broken. The slaves are about to be
The
freed. That's what
process.
generational curse means. So what are you talking about?
It's starting.
Yes, the process is starting.
Yes.
Yes, and watch this, my friend.
Okay.
If you and I are aware that something is taking place, should we not heighten our senses about it?
The only
if
way
we-
you
listen,
can heighten your senses about it is accept it.
Listen, watch this. Do you know that there are dozens of
Generational
multi-billion dollar CEOs stepping down. You know why? Because they know where the economy is about to go, and they don't want to take. They want to take their $100 million and run.
Exactly.
That's a conspiracy. Don't we need to talk? Don't we need to talk about what's going on here, my friend?
Look,
I'm trying to tell you that you don't know the answers, and you need to start thinking that there might be somebody who's coming against you. The Lord's been telling you all through Revelation. The enemy is coming to get you, and if you are not prepared, you're going to get taken. You're going to get taken, and you're going to fall into fear and doubt. And you're going to run into your little house and cry and all that other stuff. When the Lord needs you to be on the street and fight. I'm just talking about the fact.
That's why I said you have to accept it.
Okay.
You gotta fight,
because
man.
The only
You gotta
way
stand up and look at the information.
The only way you can fight it is accept it.
Okay. Now when you say
you can't fight anything if you can't accept it.
No, when I like what y'all saying, and again, one of the things I gotta tell you again, when you listen to this, and again, we gotta go to break, but before I go to break, I want to make sure y'all understand. This is what they want us to be, a war. Okay? You get the war of the Bible, religion, and I like to say this could be a situation that we can start seeing around the curve. There's something coming, okay? It's already here, but it's something coming. Where are you positioned? And what are you doing to be in the right position? Because again, you got that slave mentality of work. And that's capitalism by the United States. That's fine.
Listen,
but can I get you to get out and work and realize what he has for you? And that's the love and compassion of a man, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So no matter how y'all two debate this, I just want y'all to see where y'all at. Because are you in a position to help man, or are you in a position to help self? Mm-hmm. Because if you're running out buying bullets, you're running out buying all the toilet paper, that looks like to me it's all about you. And I'm trying to tell you, the world is up against a situation that we are looking at it as selfish as we can. Mm-hmm. Because again, we are being entitled to stuff that has never been promised to us. People have promised. And they broke that. Can we break that curse and get you to understand he has something more for you?
All right.
That's going to change the game. Not this shit that they keep telling you.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
the media has not told you the truth since the beginning.
Now listen, we're going to come back. We're going to come back right after this. But listen, you cannot say that and tell me that there's not a conspiracy in the air. The media is controlling everything that people are doing right now. You're not saying that there's not a conspiracy going on in somewhere. You're not looking at the information.
If you only get your information from one source,
we're going to talk about it.
You're limiting yourself.
We're going to be right back. We're talk with Jay.
Because one of the things I can tell y'all, and I'm going to go back to what I said, because I know we all over the place, and we're going to start dissecting this again. But when I went to businesses, do you understand the stock market is starting to crash already?
It already
all right? And as it's crashing, these corporations has got y'all into 401ks. So these CEOs walking away because when they crash, they walk away with theirs. But you ain't left with a damn thing. And that's you. You gave to this company for 30 years and you invested your money, and now you have no future and you wondering why things can be bad. Don't worry, I'm going there. But I'm backing up and saying that it's still an obligation to me. Because if you work for me and you put that kind of time in, I don't care about the stock market. I care for the people. Okay. You should go back. This is me. I'm talking now because I'm going to tell you, when they gave up, and they went to this 401k. There was a pension in place before. And when the stock market crashed and you had a pension, which they still some exist, not many, you still taking care of, bro. You ain't worried about that. And you still doing you because you gave to that organization. Now, how fair is it that you gave that same amount of time somebody else gave and they're being taken care of? They seen people living longer. They got to still take away from profit. So now you get a 401k, stock market crash, I walk away with profit, and you get nothing.
Okay,
my whole thing, let's look at how damaging what's going on now can
Right.
be
And listen,
if we don't change what it is.
my job tonight, I'm making it my sole responsibility
To what?
to at least get each of you to at least look at what I'm attempting to look at.
Okay.
Okay? And listen to this now.
Okay.
If the coronavirus is real, it came from natural sources, it's real, it's just something we deal with in the world, and there's a real panic.
Okay.
Now we need to open our eyes that potentially there are people who are going to rob us
Okay.
of our future if we don't act accordingly.
I agree.
Okay.
That's some conspiracy, my friend.
I'm not saying it wasn't.
You see, it's in the equation, whether you want to call it that or not. There are people conspiring to leave you broke. And there are people who may have known more than we think they known at the beginning of this whole equation. And so now we're getting rooked,
Whoa,
by many,
time out,
perhaps.
Time out.
right? We're talking about conspiracy theory. I'm back on that,
Yeah, on
right?
conspiracy.
I'm back on conspiracy, right?
Hold
So,
on.
Hold on, Phil.
So-
Let him go with
so-
conspiracy,
so
and we'll debate.
So again, here's the scenario. If this thing is real and true and it's coming in just its natural way, right? That God is saying, okay, I need to protect you from that, but now I need you to open your eyes because there's some major bamboozlement about to happen over the next coming period. And you need to begin to wake up as to how you're going to protect yourself. You need to wake up how you're going to protect your resources. You need to wake up how you don't get taken control of or how you don't get manipulated. And so that's all I'm suggesting here, fellas, is that if you just trust everything that's going on right now, you place your complete trust into the hands of people that you do not know and have been running game for many years. I'm telling you that something else is happening in this equation. And I don't have the answer, but we need to wake up and start looking around, right?
Okay.
Now, there's another way to address it, but I want to let Phil say something, and then I want to do kind of like the stamp of
Before
the
Phil,
stamp addressal for the.
Let me have a little fun with it before Phil. I'm gonna let Phil, because y'all debate. Let me have fun with it off of you and what you just said. Some of the things you said is profound to me, and I'm gonna give you a small thing of what you can look at. If you know that the market is crashing, one of the things I invested in is gold and silver. I got away from all these inventions of jobs because bottom line is I don't know where they're going to go. I went to gold and silver because one of the things that people look at they're going to start looking at holding things. And again, silver and gold was down before all this happened. So I invested in when it was already low. And I'm telling you right now, they was like, why would you invest in that? And because I start seeing things that's going to occur. Because again, if this start happening, you start going now, it's going to go up. It's just one of the things. You got to get ahead of the curve.
Ahead of the curve. How
And
you
that's
gonna
what
get
I'm
ahead of the
trying
curve?
to tell you about getting ahead is realizing what's going on and trying to make things different. Don't just follow the masses. They're trying to dictate their way, okay? That's through social media. You got to understand what's past. That's why they hate you learning history. You start learning history, you start understanding things in a different fashion and form. And I don't got to march like everybody else. I can start doing things and put myself in position that now when this corporation saying, okay, your 401 gone, I still have something to stand strong. They can walk away, but I'm still standing.
Yeah,
They don't care what you do. You could have invested your 401k in that a long time ago, but it wasn't giving great returns. But that's up to you. They let you make these choices.
Yeah, but if you don't get skeptical, you won't make the right choice.
Why would you? But
Right,
you better
you would.
learn from
That's
mistakes. You got to learn by past mistakes. You don't have to keep making mistakes to learn from. You
Yeah.
can read books and see past history. But I'm going to have y'all some fun because my whole thing is I want to enhance you to better you than to be ignorant, to believing what you're hearing. Because everything you hear is not told correctly. That's all I'm saying, and that's why I feel like we're in a situation of a crisis. Because if I watch TV all the time and I seen The Walking Dead, I feel like that might be upon me. But I promise you, if you understand how this virus works and how it attacks the lungs, and you can't breathe, the last thing you're gonna do is walking around trying to fight somebody. I'm just telling you honestly. Research it. Do not just listen to us. Research it, and when you do, you'll find out it's a horrible death. And I ain't wishing that on nobody. So I'm asking you to conserve yourself. Quit going out, meeting everybody, because you might be strong enough to handle it. But I promise you, give it to somebody. That's not what I want. So you might not want to believe it, but I promise you, you can be a carrier and you can give it. That's what I'm saying. But I'm gonna let y'all two have y'all debate over there, because again, I'm just trying to help, and I like to facilitate y'all argument.
No, you need to be in the debate. You
Okay,
play the sideline.
First of all, you can never go wrong investing in a commodity, because the commodity never perishes, because it's a natural resource. You always invest in commodities, whether it goes low or it goes high. Always.
Well,
Fuck a company. I mean, sorry. You don't have to invest in a company.
Right.
Yeah.
You invest in commodities, whether it's high or low, because it's a natural resource. You'll always need a natural resource to generate anything.
In the road, making the coronavirus.
No,
how's that?
So no, I was just
he
going with Jared, going over there with him. So, all right.
Let me ask this question.
Go ahead.
Right? I asked on the break. Phil and I was on the back porch. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to answer this question, Phil.
Go ahead.
Phil said there's not a conspiracy theory. Has nothing to do with this scenario. Conspiracy has nothing. Hold on. And I said, well, Phil, if they gave you the coronavirus antidote, the shot, would you take it? And Phil said, no. And I said, well, why would you not take the thing that's going to heal you of coronavirus? So that means you do believe in the conspiracy.
I wouldn't even take the flu shot, because I know the flu shot is nothing more than the flu.
So are you suggesting they're giving people corona?
Of course they would.
Unsick people, making them sick?
Of course they would. I mean,
unsick people making them sick?
Hold on. It's just like, why would we not kill Black Wall Street when you just open your eyes and learn how to operate a system within the system? It's the same thing.
Yes.
We gonna bury you with 400 years of not knowing how to get ahead, but then you realize and understand how to get ahead within the system. No, we can't have it. But you feel that a statement that you made while we were out on the back porch, you said Trump is trying to stop a plot or a plan that generals have created for population control.
I didn't say population control.
Okay, what was it then?
Listen, this is the message I heard, long story short, is that 200 generals several years ago began to concoct a plan because they suggested that the federal government was rotten. Pedophilia, thieving, all kinds of stuff. And the government's not going to overthrow itself, and so the generals created a plan that would, to some degree, take control of this country so that they could cut much of that nonsense out. And in order to do that, you have to upset the environment. You got to turn heads, you got to create distractions, and this is a part of the plan to make the distractions. And as the distractions are taking place, there's a next level of this thing that's coming, right?
Not necessarily, you just have to keep it status quo.
Well, I mean, all I'm suggesting is what was shared with me. That's all. It was not mine. I just suggested there's a conspiracy to do many big things among government and high levels of business as a result of making panic in the world.
How is the government supposed to be ran?
You tell me.
No, I'm asking you a question.
I don't know.
By the people. The government shouldn't run the people. The people should run the government. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Prime example, you have JFK. JFK said, look, I'm in office now, so I'm privy to certain information. I don't like what I see, so I'm going to stop it. 2 weeks after he gave that speech, guess what happened to JFK? Him got assassinated.
Now, don't you think that is conspiracy at its finest, my friend?
That's not conspiracy. That's trying to keep everything status quo because I need to have my money.
That's a conspiracy. I want you to agree with that. Everything you're saying is conspiracy. You're saying that there are people who perhaps are just as or more powerful than the President of the United States, who seems to be doing something. And if you don't do what they want you to do and follow their agenda, you get snuffed out.
So you think that
I agree with Kraft. Points.
So you think that DJ is trying to protect us?
Who's DJ?
Trump. DJ Trump.
I think that DJ is trying not to end up looking like the bad guy, which was one of the agendas of the 200.
Oh, hell no.
Hold on, what?
Point deducted.
Yeah.
Hold on, whoa.
No, I'm not going to let you minimize the intelligence in this conversation.
So
here's what I'm here. Let me explain to you, so you don't have to ask. Okay. The notion is that the powers that be are making a move, right?
Okay.
If Trump makes a move against those people, then the mechanism automatically crashes in Trump's lap. This is how it's been set up. That way for big business. People have been strong-arming business for years.
Yeah, right.
They've been strong-arming politics. They've been strong-arming leadership and power in the universe for years.
I'll go with that.
And so now listen. So now Trump is saying, listen, I'm not going to put millions of tests on the street because you are potentially infecting people. You are potentially infecting people to create more panic so you can continue your dark plan. And now, when all of these people die, it's going to be on my shoulders.
So
you see what I'm saying?
So you saying Trump is a good guy now?
I'm saying Trump is playing this a position against his bad guy. Come on, man. We're talking about politics here. We're not talking about a business transaction. We're talking about politics. We're talking about great levels of we're talking about great levels of influence that you and I cannot see. Let me tell you this.
What is politics built on?
Power.
Lies and control and manipulation.
Okay. However you get the power, it's power, right? And if this world changes in the next 2 weeks to 2 months to 4 months to 6 months, and martial law is put into place.
Changed.
Listen, it is not martial law. You know what martial law does?
Oh yeah, I know exactly what martial law does.
It means a bunch of bullshit for us. Big time.
No, it means a bunch of bullshit to everybody.
Us.
That's
what I mean. That's what I'm calling us. Okay. Everybody, right? And that's not what you want happening, my friend. That's not what you want happen. So now you got two superpowers potentially battling against each other for
what
power.
Happens when martial law takes effect.
And nobody can seem to see it. Nobody wants to look at it.
Before we go there, we don't got to go to break. Reason why, I want us to have a sidebar to make sure we give a dialogue so somebody can understand exactly what it might entail and what it could be. Because these are theories as well. Because the bottom line is it completely happen, and y'all might hear it first right now at Bar Talk with Jay. I endorse this. The reason why, it causes conversation, and if it can get you ahead of the curve, it can get you in a better position to set yourself up for financial success at a dark time. I like to be the first one to be able to do it. Because why? I don't think this conversation is going to happen.
Actually, this is the best time to invest in commodities.
Yeah,
so let's talk about it more when we get back. But one of the things I want to say is we're giving you ideas at a tough time. And I want to give you some more about at home, dealing with your kids. Because again, school's been closed. There's a lot of different people going with a lot of different things. I want to make sure I give some encouragement to you guys at a dark time as well. Because again, families can be impacted where we're fighting each other and not helping each other. I want to make sure I put family first. Get y'all at the dinner table eating and loving on each other. What food you have, make it stretch. And make your kids feel a part of everything that we do because we don't know what's going to happen next. I want to get us back to the small things compared to the drama that they keep showing. Get them away from the iPads. Get them away from the TV for a minute. Because again, school is out. Homeschooling still exists. It's one of the things that I really feel like we can encourage our kids to still keep a positive when I see a negative. And just letting this just happen without you having control is your damn decision. I feel like empower yourself. This is just a conversation. Empowerment means when you take over your situation, it's going to be up to you. That's why I'm having this show tonight. I want to empower you to think differently and act responsibly. Just buying a gun and buying up all the toilet paper ain't going to fix shit. I'm just being real with you. I don't care who you are, if that's not. But if you hear what we saying and start moving accordingly, you'll get ahead of the curve.
All right. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to be right back. More Bar Talk with Jay.
Last week was doing the thing that's going current right now with the coronavirus. We're not going to just focus on the virus. We're going to talk about what we got. So we got everything going on tonight. From thoughts, conspiracy, and let alone where you might be. One of the things I'm hoping for tonight is I can get corporations, because I'm talking from a business standpoint, to make sure they look after their people. You got CEOs walking away from jobs right now, and they walking away with theirs, but I'm saying, can I hold corporations to take care of their people? Because this is going to be a dark time, and if you're waiting for the government just to do things for you, I feel like you're behind the curve. My whole thing is to get around it, because again, they did a lot of things that did not help us at all. Some people feel like it did, some people feel like Trump is the best president ever. My thing, I'm not looking at him, I'm looking at you. If you look at him as the best, only thing I can say is I'm looking at you, what the hell are you doing? If I can get you off your behind to realize what's really going on and get you to be a stronger vessel, then maybe we can get to a point where we can do more. As long as you're sitting around waiting on somebody to do for you, you are a victim. You're always going to be behind the curve, and I want you ahead of the curve. I don't want you just waiting. I want you to be in the position to get. God ain't asked you not to work. He told you to believe, and faith is work. And all of a sudden, I'm feeling it's a shutdown, and it's all of a sudden a scare, and it's getting you away from your work.
Deception.
Don't get deceived. And he gave you word. He gave you his scripture. He gave you enough prophets to make you realize what was coming, and now it's up to you to choose what you want to do. And that's where I can break away from saying where you should be. It's just, are you reading?
Yeah. And let me just, you bring up an excellent point, Jay, because there's a battle going on between the spirit and the world, right? I heard Pastor T.D. Jakes come on the other night, and he was just trying to console people. And the very first thing he said is that some people are using their spiritual belief to ward off this enemy. And he says there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing having faith. He said, but we have to do certain things in the world to make sure that we don't we don't contract this virus, that we don't, we don't get influenced by, the world in some way and ended up sick and gone. And so the battle becomes, what do you believe at the end of this situation? Do you believe that we are already saved from some deadly disease that's going to kill us all and will create famine and create sickness and create poverty in the world? Do you believe that we are destined to be taken and taken advantage of, and that we're destined to be without because of this sickness, or even because of this conspiracy? I'm saying that the victory is already ours. And I have no battles in my mind about winning in this particular scenario. Anything unlike God, I rebuke. And it has no place in my life. And therefore, trouble is far from my shore. But there are many people walking around who are riddled with fear. And they have no place to go. They don't know what to believe. They're running scared. Perhaps running extremely afraid because they just don't know. What would you say to those people, Jay?
I can tell you all day long, man. I ran scared for a very long time. I definitely can tell you I understand. If this happened to me a couple years ago, I'll be looking around like, man, what I got to do, whatever it is, let me volunteer for it, this, that, the other. Now, purpose and understanding of mistakes and understanding what he has for me, it's like, okay, I'm closing out. I've said about my Cash App because I helped throughout the years. My whole thing is
Self-quarantine.
all day long. I self-quarantine giving out because the bottom line is I have to preserve people that's within me. Okay, it's an inner circle. I have to make sure things is right here. Secondly, I understand how people walk away from people all the time. These are one of the times that you're going to see that real quickly because of scared and fear. You're scared to die.
Why?
Because you aren't understanding what he has for you to live. Because I promise you, I see life differently than a person who's just scared. I still go out here on these streets. I still have to deal with things. Oh, Lord. Just call.
He got corona.
Guess what? Now all of a sudden I'm like, what? Every time something happens, you can't be scared.
You can't. That's what I'm
My
talk
sister
about.
came over my
That's what I wanna
house
talk
wearing
about.
a mask. If you feel like you might be, then yes, put one on. But to me, it doesn't be transmitted like, if you have it, yes, it is wise for you to cover up because that's what's going to, whatever you cough is going to go out.
Right.
Okay? The air is not just what has it. Because everybody's not informed correctly. So now everybody's scared. So you look at China and now everybody wearing masks. Please understand knowledge about how things is transmitted and where this germ is coming from. Off of surfaces and touch. No! That's why they ask you to wash your hands. They ain't ask you to put a mask on. They ain't never ask everybody to wear a mask unless you're already infected. Then yes, if you have these symptoms, then yes. Just wearing it because you don't want to catch it like that, it's not airborne like that. Please be knowledgeable. But no, you want to watch TV. You want to watch The Living Dead. You want to make it out something else because your mind takes you there.
Yeah, but
I say calm it down and realize it is about you getting out of a fear. I'm not looking for The Walking Dead. I am looking to help. I am looking to do the best I can because when my day is called, that's it, period.
Exactly.
But I am not looking for all. I have to do what I can do just to live. You scared to die. You would never make it where he has you because you're walking within fear. He asked you to walk within him. How in the hell you scared to die and you walking within faith? You're a hypocrite and you're lying to me. There's no way in hell you're going to sit here and tell me you got nothing but faith and then you telling me how scared your ass is. He's telling you, he's written, he gave you prophets, he told you what I'm going to bring, and now you telling me you scared. How you going to be scared of what he gave you?
But watch this, watch this. And there are a lot of, quote unquote Christians who are afraid, right?
Are you afraid?
But not at all.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. I'm here to serve my destiny because of my belief in the Word and because of my belief in God.
Oh, okay.
I'm not afraid at all. There are precautions that he expects me to do. It's no different than, if you walk into a forest full of bushes and thorns, you cover up. You cover up because you don't want thorns in your legs and in your feet, right?
Just have to
And
be
that's
cautious.
Exactly. And so I'm covering up, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking those precautions. But even those who are taking those precautions, see, this whole idea of social distancing is creating significant panic, right? And again, I just don't believe that the environment, the media is selling a little bit of a dream. It's not really that bad. All the doctors are saying it's not really that bad. If you're already sick, it's going to be trouble. We have to protect those who are elderly. We got to protect those who are children. Those who are fairly healthy. You have a cold for 8 days, you'll be all right. That's how the doctors are saying it. That's their explanation of how this thing transpires. But yet there are people riddled with fear, and so they don't have faith. And so they're not expecting things to be all right. And so they go out and buy guns. They go out and hog up all the resources in the grocery store, like toilet tissue. When people are fearful, they go out and they do things based on fear and not of wise choice. And so there needs to be some form of explanation about the Lord and being saved and all that other stuff. Again, you know, the message. You know, I heard one pastor a couple days ago talking about it, and he said, folks, let's just think about it this way. Let's just say that the end of the world is approaching. All you have to do is believe in Him, and you're going to receive eternal life. And I'm not here to preach a sermon to you, but you have to develop some form of belief system that has strength in it. Because if you don't have belief that has strength in it, then you're at bay. You're at bay to being taken. You're not going to move when they say move. You're not going to ever be at peace and rest during these times. You can't go but so long and so much stress before it takes you out itself. You got to find a way to reserve a comfort in your spirit that allows you to get done what needs to get done tomorrow. I'm covered tomorrow. I ask Heavenly Father that you cover me tomorrow so that I can get done what needs to get done. And keep the virus and all the troubles and all that stuff away from me, and I'll get those things done. And when I say that prayer, I have the belief that tomorrow is going to be exactly like that. But for those people who are praying and those who don't have a belief system in God, we have to face all of these people. These people are not going to think caring thoughts. They're not going to think team. They're not going to think family and neighborhood and community. They're going to think something very different.
It's just real simple.
And we do have the ability to control anything around us through the power of prayer. And that's part of the other reason why I'm not afraid, because I have a belief system that just carries me. And everybody can't get that. I'm not asking everybody to be where I am, but we've got to find a way to detensify the stress levels, to detensify people's minds and people's hearts. Because if it gets much more worse, you're going to just knock on a door to help somebody and get shot.
It's just about simply knowing who you are and whose you are. That's it.
Yeah, but everybody don't know that, bro. Look, we're talking about the average masses. We're talking about the people who are really, really scared. They're ready to go into bunkers for the next 20 years of their life. And they're ready to buy guns. And they're ready to shoot anybody who might walk on their property.
Well, I had them already, so I ain't ready about that.
I saw, in a business transaction yesterday, a customer pulled up. He had bought a truck the day before. He pulled up so that we could do a few things to it. And when he handed the keys to the manager, he did one of those. He actually, before he handed the keys to the manager went to shake his hand, and the guy just pulled his hand back and kind of threw his elbow out, right? And I was like, okay, there's some major dynamics going on just between people here. And
people are just afraid because they don't know.
Right. And listen, I'm going to, if you come into my dealership, if the Lord sends you into my dealership to do business with me, I'm going to shake your hand, because I believe that I'm protected already from all of that. Okay. And whatever anointing I have, even if you gave it to me, I'm smart enough that He gonna make me have to go to the restroom. I go in there and wash my hands. I come back out and I earn your business.
Before I touch my nose and my face.
And send that new car down the road. I'm not going to treat people
differently. Let me get this money.
I'm not going to treat people like they're outcasts, even though I do have to maintain precaution. So we're talking about spirit versus the world. We're talking about that idea of caring versus just just protecting one's own individual self. It's a difficult discussion to have, but the point
who wins when spirit versus the world? Who wins?
Spirit always wins.
Oh, okay.
Spirit is in control. And the world is just effect, but spirit is cause. And so if you have a spiritual mentality of being very afraid, then you're probably going to do the world damage. You're probably going to take resources that you shouldn't take. You're probably going to start looting. You're probably going to start, fighting the world and stealing resources. When I was with my family in Florida.
Oh, you're talking about the government. Oh, okay. All right.
When I was with my family after the Hurricane Michael, there was no power, there was no gasoline, there was no water. Everything was completely down. And about the second or third day, I started noticing signs coming out in front of people's yard that's saying, if you loot, I shoot. I ask questions later. They had these signs in their front yard, right? And so, here's a place where this person is very afraid, and we don't know or even care what their spiritual belief system is, but they're not going to care. If you see a kid walking up to your front door, you know, the spirit. The spirit has to be healed before the world's going to be healed. That it cannot take place in any other way.
I agree with you, man. But the problem we're gonna have, even in that atmosphere, is again, there's always gonna be a person that feel like they can take. Okay, now their mentality is this is at a critical point where a lot of people at odds, and I can take advantage. It's like a hustler. Okay, there's been a storm, roof's been ripped off, property's been damaged. You probably at disarray, and I can make out, but it's for self. Now, is he gonna say it's self-preservation, and it's just, you know, you should understand, and that's why people put signs out to let you know up front. Don't come take mine. I work for mine. I ain't trying to hurt no one. And I'm going to tell you, this is how I live. One of the things I'll tell you, I carry a gun, I got a permit. And I'm not quick to kill no one. But you ever go for mine. And if you ever go for me, just understand, the same Lord that I serve, you will see. Please understand what I'm saying to you.
I don't know. They might not see the same Lord.
You might not, but I promise you, I don't know who you pray to and where you going to go. That ain't for me. But I'm going to tell you, you won't be in front of me no longer. And I'm just saying that I am not a person that won't see harm in anyone. Anybody ever work for me and deal with me know I'm a caring, loving dude. But I promise you, you cross me. And I ain't talking about disrespect. You would say all that crazy stuff. But when you go for mine, and I ain't did nothing, and I'm not going for yours, then you cross me in a position in a way, then I'm going to tell you I'm going to protect mine. And that's all I can tell anybody, protect theirs. But remember, somebody that's coming up to you to check on you, and you just shoot them for coming on your property, is you being ignorant. My whole thing is, you can come check on my mom. Please call. Ignorant. You will be lights all down, and it's good. But you just coming to take?
Will call full of fear. Ignorance is equal to fear.
Because you scared to die.
So let's take another break, and we're going to come back and continue this dialogue. Y'all stay with us. More Bar Talk with Jay.
Bar Talk with Jay. One of the things I want to say the other night, you know, y'all be like, man, this is one of them debates that's real. There's a lot of information, and again, I know a lot of y'all might be confused on it. Again, spiritual, non-spiritual, religious, atheist. I don't know where you at. One of the things I can tell you is the God I serve is telling me to reach them wherever they're at. Like this virus, I want to spray it in a way that can give you hope at a dark time that you won't see. That's what we're trying to do here now, and it's going to be hard for us to do it because I don't know where you at. You might be on the conspiracy side. You might be on the power side that's mad at what we're trying to do. Don't be mad at what you already know what's in you. I'm trying to give the right thing to pass compared to the things of manipulation and control. He has it where we can all grow, and you want it where you profit. Well, that's why we have all these mass attacks and all these things, because I want the change to shift to get us to a position and a place that we can care for one another and grow in a way that we all can make it through this. It's easy for us to panic and hurt one another past what could happen. Do you understand? This virus is only going to take out so many people. But if you panic, that's like what I've been watching in the stores, and you start attacking people for food and product, you're going to hurt and kill more people than this dang on virus is going to take out. And it works in the favor of knowing how I put it out, okay? That's a conspiracy. So let's get around the curve of the conspiracy and start doing things in a different format and I can preserve life. Now, 401k, if you can shift it to what was your word? More commodity. That we can stand time. It might be a time where you look at your investments and move some things around. I'm not a person that can tell you what to invest in. I told you my gold and silver. I invested in early on. I'm not doing this to make me rich, to make you invest in it, to give me. Listen, I did it years ago. So I promise you, somebody said I made out. It wasn't made out because of that. I just already seen the economy so many different ways. I knew this would probably be where I can get by. They told me Bitcoins. They told me this. It's a lot of stuff they told me. I'm not going to go there. Only thing I can tell you is I'm not the politician to push you, to make you feel like this show is to manipulate you so I can make a profit when I've been paying my damn way since the beginning. Why? I cared enough to put out my own to do. So when somebody tell me that this is being laid, I promise you come check out my bank account because this is being paid through me. There is nobody that sponsored this. I promise you, I work for this. I work to do what I do. I work hard to do what I do. I'm not stopping what I do to deliver for you. I will tell you I might stop my show because I care for my people. I'm not going to have y'all go against a travel ban. But I've been doing this going on 4 years. And I love it. And I'm going to keep on doing it. As long as the Lord gives me breath and my people is behind me, I'm going to deliver. But if I can add a sense of care to what we're doing, I'm reaching out to all business owners, small and large, to watch out for your people. You can close up and say the economy and close and turn your eye, close your back. But please understand they have family. The more you can do for them, the more they'll do for you. Exactly. People are investing because that's the best investment that they had when they got out of school is a job. And jobs are folding and turning back. But if you can keep your people straight, I promise you, whatever you might go with next, they will follow you. Be a strong encourager, not just a user.
Yeah, and you know, it's important for you folks who may have great amounts of fear to know that we will overcome this. We will get through this. We will get by this. Life as we know it may be somewhat different, but we are going to conquer this and prevail, and this is going to be over our shoulders and behind our backs. But until then, there is great work for every person to do. Exactly. And that means following the rules, staying at home, and there's a lot of great things you can do staying at home. This may be a time that you can kind of get your house in even more order. You know, some of those closets that need to get clean.
Yeah,
and families
and disposed. You get a container at your house to get that done for you. At a special rate of $300, I'll waive off the delivery, and I can get you a 25-yarder at your house because you need to get it clean. That's bigger than your trash can, and I can do that at disposed. That's right, Jay. At a hard time of need. As long as you're in the general area, so, no matter about 50 miles out, and I can get that container to you probably tomorrow. Just saying, he gave me an opportunity.
So there's, you sold it. You sold it.
You sold it. And so you know, we're all being forced to stay in and to follow the rules in many areas of the country and even perhaps the world. There are now curfews.
Yes, sir.
And you know, the question many people have been asking is, well, what do we do? What do we do next? How can we help ourselves? How can we, you know, how can we, you know, find some leverage to feel better about this whole situation? And I believe that there's a lot of progress that you can make while you're in your home.
I'll tell you all day long. Love your family. Sit down. Conserve. Make a schedule. One of the things I can tell you is your kids at home, and especially if you're homeschooling, you have to give them that same regimen of school. You got to give them a schedule. You know why? They run wild. No, you need to schedule them because You don't want them to have that fear.
Good stuff, Jay.
It shouldn't be about them having a fear. It's about you giving the discipline to understand that's your house.
Yeah.
You gave them that schooling, but the bottom line, you send them to school. Now you need to give that same regimen at home. Give them a schedule and abide by it. And that way they ain't just eating all the time. Okay?
Exactly.
They eat out of house home. I know I got 5 kids. None of that happened to me. I'm just saying, you're home with them, you let them eat all the time. It is going to be difficult to do all that. Get them on a schedule, feed them, and then eat with them.
Keep them in a pattern.
Keep them in a pattern and get them away from that. iPads, they regular social, they networking with the school, but when there's certain times they got to eat, then you spend that time with them, and that way you can ensure them of what you want them to be instilled with.
Yeah, that's a great point. Young people and children, parents, this might be a great time to sit down and have a family meeting.
Yes.
Sit down and talk about what's going on, and talk about how your children feels about it. Tell them as parents how you feel about it. Now, the reality is that much of the world can't handle the truth, and that may be why we don't get all of the truth sometimes. But give your children as much of the truth as you think they can handle, because they need to.
You can't handle the truth.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, there comes a time where the realities need to be shared with young folk, and this could be a great time to do so. If you don't tell them your opinions, tell them, teach them how you feel about this thing, and give them some kind of strength, give them some faith, give them some, in the car business we call them load their lips. Load their lips with word traps that everything is going to be okay. Give them some understanding that we're going to get through this. Give them some ways to be more informed about what's really happening. Maybe watch the news with them. Talk about what they're talking about on news. A great time for nurturing the family and the spirit. There's also continuous opportunity for us to make sure that we are properly stocked in our households. There's a chance that we may be somewhat, to the degree, if this thing gets too much out of hand, we're going to be quarantined to our own homes.
Exactly.
And that means we're going to need a stockpile of bread and food, and canned goods.
No, not bread and milk, canned goods.
We need food, right? Just make sure that you're stocked with food. That's important. Make sure you have a plan to get through 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Make sure your family members or even potentially your neighbors are stocked. Maybe you're going to share propane tanks. Maybe you're going to share a water hose.
Exactly.
Maybe you're going to share, any number of things that could be shared. Maybe you're going to have a protection system, a watch system, of who's going to watch the yard, who's going to watch the front doors, who's going to watch the end of the street. There may be some community meetings. We don't want people gathering, perhaps, but conference call can be a great way to kind of bring 2 or 3 or 4 of your neighbors together and talk about what's going on the street, what you might see, what you might need as a family, as a team. But this is, life is a thinking man's game. And especially when challenges and trouble and these types of issues come up, you have to be on your feet. If you're not on your feet, you're going to wind up in a place that's very vulnerable to just survival. And that's the last thing that you want in your household, is worried about, where the next meal is going to come from because you didn't properly prepare. And every day, every night, these grocery stores and these retailers are restocking their shelves. Exactly. The roads are full of 18-wheelers and trains. There's a lot going on to make sure that food is being distributed, to all the retailers in the country. You need to be there first thing in the morning. You can't lounge till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon thinking that you're going to go and get to pick up the food products, right? And so we're lucky in this situation that we have lights and we have water and we have sewage and we can stay at home. This is a good thing for us. But not properly preparing your home can make your home turn into kind of a bad place, a valley place to be.
Can I say something on that note?
Go ahead.
Kraft said something for the truckers, for the ones that's out there that's doing these things. I want to say hats off. And it's not just because of the fact I got CDLs and I'm a trucker and I'm out there and I'm in the trash industry, please understand, for the truckers that's out there, they're making sure, and again, underneath this state of disaster, they're pushing the e-logs out, and they're allowing them to work longer hours to make sure they keep these stores stocked. So these drivers are fatigued too. So when you out there on the road, please make sure you give them the same respect. Get out their way. When I say that, truckers is always being cut off and everybody trying to get rich. Listen, this ain't that time to be listening to TV. You need to understand they're trying to do a job. So get out the way. Let them get to these stores and help you. They're putting their lives on the line because they can catch the coronavirus out there as well. Exactly. And they still out there trying to do their job because they are trying to put in work. They ain't trying to sit at home like you. They are not. They are trying to continue to do what they need because they know this is a crisis. So give them that respect. Allow them to do them.
Yeah, and it's not only truckers. It's security people. It's the police officers. It's the fire team.
So if we look at everything differently, we'll start respecting and not disrespecting.
Yeah.
I just had to say here, it come from you. Not me, because I'm already a CDL licensed driver. I'm a trucker. I'm out there. I promise you, when I'm not doing this show Monday through Friday, I'm in a truck, I'm behind my people, and I see what's going on. And I'm on the roads. Yeah. I would tell you, the roads are a lot lighter. Yeah. Not because of this, the school is out, but people are taking heed. Yeah. Not all, but enough that I can tell you, I can see a relief effort in highways.
Yeah, and we want to give kudos. We want to give hats off to all of the people who are serving. The healthcare industry is running at 100,000 miles per hour everywhere in the world right now. All that education and all that money they spent, all those people are here to take care of us, and they are moving. They've got a full schedule. Those people are very busy. Let's give it to even our politicians who are fighting right now for policies and for resources for our communities. You know, we've got city councilmen, we've got mayors, we've got legislators. You know, there's a lot going on, and there are a lot of people working very hard, and we want to thank all of you folks who are doing this excellent work. Those people who are in media, those people. I went on Steve Harvey's show the other morning and was expecting them to be talking about the virus. Man, they let all that go. They were just having fun. They buttered me up. You know, I laughed with them, and it took my mind completely off the virus. You know, so there's something to be said for those people in entertainment and those people who are not only just bringing us news, but you know, there are lots of people who will bring much more to the table: comedy, music, etc., etc. We want to thank all of you folks for your efforts during this crisis. It makes all the difference, and without it, we could not drive forward. Because no matter what you're doing in this world, everything that you do is designed to serve people. And so we don't want to leave anybody out of the equation. I have talked a lot about conspiracies here today. I've talked a lot about the enemy being against us. And I just don't want to ever be sitting on the sideline anymore when it comes to our world and our safety and our health. I just don't want to be the guy waiting on somebody else to make the decision. I want to stand up and be looking over the horizon and see that somebody is doing something they ain't supposed to do, and we need to band together to protect ourselves from those who might come against us. Everybody under the sun knows that 2 weeks without work can break the average family.
Right.
Do we realize that 60% of the population live paycheck to paycheck? And 27% of the population needs financial assistance to live. Yes. That's 87% of the population will be in extreme duress without income.
So you know what I'm saying?
And so this world can become very dark.
Right. So you know what I'm saying?
We really got to focus on who are our friends and who are our enemies, and how can we set ourselves up for success.
This is why I asked the question about corporations, and I know a lot of times we don't go there. I'm asking corporations right now. Everybody used to do different things. Mm-hmm. I'm asking corporations to stand up right now if you Comcast, I don't care what you are. I just threw Comcast out there. And again, because I got them, so I can save all day long. So Comcast is the company. I still pay y'all. But I'm going for Comcast and everybody that's out there that we paying off from car loans and everything else to extend the amount of time of grace that you would give a person to pay some things, because there might be a situation where it's going to be hard for people to pay.
There again, take care of your customer.
Are taking care of people by pushing these, and it's easy for y'all to do it. I know that
take care of the government.
Listen, don't worry about the government. Go ahead and just push it to the back of their loan, okay? Just push it where they can get by now. And that way, when they survive this, they can still take care of you and then stay with you. Okay, this is the commitment that some people don't understand. Okay, we don't got to be scared because he coughed. Okay, he just joking and playing. My whole thing is that scared is what I don't ever need us to be. If somebody coughed, you shouldn't be scared. You should know I got him. I don't have to turn to him. I have him. And that's why I'm asking corporations to be there for them. If you can look at everything and what's going on right now, and you guys stop playing and start doing it. I heard our president talking about how you're going to bail out the airline industry. An industry that had profit for a very long time with our flying and everything else. And I'm looking at the day-to-day people that bust their ass and do everything that they can. And I ain't seeing no real stimulus to bail y'all out, but I'll bail out an industry that done made out hand over foot for a long time. I'm just saying at this time, don't promise what should be and look at what need to be. We need to come better together than the stuff that they keep telling us. How is they guaranteed the cruise line? That's you having fun riding around, and half the time that's the ones that get contaminated because you confined. I ain't understanding that. When I'm working and I'm busting my ass and I'm out here making sure y'all trash is out of there to keep the germs away from you, and I ain't hearing nothing about us. But all I'm hearing about other industries that's before us, and you think I care about hearing this? You crazy. I'm be first to tell you, the police officer, the firemen, the ones that care about you get paid less than you giving a damn about an industry that's making billions. Exactly. Y'all got life messed up. I'm here to tell you I'm tired of it, and this is where we need to make the shift, paradigm shift, to the people that really care and you ain't paying attention to. The ones that still at the store, that still can catch this virus, but they still there to serve you. Not the ones that's ignorant, not the ones that's been talking crazy, but the ones that actually serve you. Exactly. I am giving hats off to all y'all hardworking people that I know is going to make a difference. Absolutely. I'm speaking for you.
Absolutely.
Not these other industries. That we ain't making our profits like we used to. Who cares? Exactly. It's a time that you need to turn around and take some of that and give back to. These mega churches. Oh, I'm going to put y'all on the line too. Right now, today, we're in a crisis. If you looking for a collection, you need to be given a collection. We got families on the street. If you a mega church out there today, I honor you to find your congregation and help them. Do not look for an offering. God ain't looking for them to give nothing at this point. It's for your behind to give your to give your congregation the strength that he gave you when you started this. When I started this, I looked for mine, look for yours. Give back in a way that they can respect what they gave to.
All right, I love it. And listen, it is just about time for us to close. We only got just about 3-4 minutes here. We started right on time, and I think we've had a lot of fantastic discussion here. Yes, we've covered, kind of the spiritual world, believing that God is going to be the sum total of this entire thing, and not running scared. We've asked managers and leaders to care about their people, and to make sure that you got to feed the flock. And if you've become a leader or a manager in any way, and there are people under your direction, love up on them, take care of them during this time. This is a very trying time for all of our families. We talked about some everything from you shouldn't be out partying and hanging out and potentially spreading viruses. We talked about the world of supply, stealing buying all the supplies up, not being concerned about everybody else. I know it's not easy to leave a extra.
Hey man,
It's not easy to
y'all that
leave
coffee and shit.
something on the shelf when you know you need it at your house. And so, but we got to take care of our communities, and that means maybe not buying up all the products so that those products can be replenished and we can all go back and get round 2, round 3, round 4. We haven't, specifically talked about media, but media is going to be media. We never know if they're shooting us straight. But I do believe that I've heard a significant amount of expertise on much of the media, and I think that they're continuing to address really tough issues. They're continuing to press upon government and high levels of leadership to do the right thing and to think forward and to prepare for the next level of these kinds of challenges. Obviously there's a lot of media that is bringing up the conspiracies, and there's a lack of trust of our government. There's a lack of trust of our political world. There's a lack of trust of many of the leaders, but somehow or another we have to band together. And I think in the end, the only thing that can save us is prayer. No matter what faith you are from, prayer creates tomorrow, and your prayers make a difference. Pray for a world full of peace. Pray for a world full of prosperity. Pray for a world where we are in control of our environment and there's not a virus running around taking lives unnecessarily. Pray for the doctors to come up with answers. Pray for children and families to eat and to have supplies that they need throughout this transition. Pray for the world. Pray for our leaders, our pastors, our police officers, those who will, prepare these major movings of supplies from one side of the world to another. Pray for these organizations to be able to deliver these products and services to the world so that nobody goes without. Again, God is in control, and He has uprooted some things, and He's planting some new seeds, and I believe that He is going to bring victory unto all of us who believe in Him. And so I stand firm on that, and I say the Lord's word shall be done.
And I'm going to say, I got a challenge to all businesses out there that got restaurants. Y'all used to write food off and throw it away. I challenge you to feed a family, to do more than just throw it away. Don't look for a write-off, give back. There's communities out there that's right now, there's going to be people not working. Can we reach out and give these foods in the commodity that we have and conserve it and do it in a way that people can prosper and get past this? I'm asking for us to look at things defined differently. I am not asking you no longer to write it off. I am asking you to cook it and give it to the ones that's in need. I am saying you're going to close down because it might be mandated. But before you let this food go to waste, can we give it to? We waste more than we give. Can we start changing what we do? Exactly. I don't run a restaurant, but I understand I work for one long enough. And I want to make sure they ain't throwing nothing away. When we got hungry kids, we got people that need it, exactly. And you just giving it away because this was the government mandate. Don't depend on them and give back to the people that depend on you. Mm-hmm. I went to McDonald's. I went to Burger King. I went to all these different institutes. So why don't you give back to people that gave to you? From your employees, let them walk home with it. They ain't allowed to eat. They got to do this. Listen, they need to feed their own, so when we get past this, they will support you. I'm asking a challenge different than the shit I've been seeing. Don't go to stores licking on ice cream. How about organizing something that's going to be positive, where we all can benefit? Where I see businesses giving to a community, and the community, not an individual, not me going out and feeding. I am looking for corporations that's been making money off of people forever to go back and understand it's been that way for a long time. We're hurting. Yeah. Let's do it in a way that we can unify and give to the people instead of writing off. What I like to say is a write-off to people, and the people need.
There you go.
Churches, corporations need to come together and get us in a better place than relying on government.
Well put.
Exactly.
All right, folks, this has been Bar Talk with Jay, and my name is Craftmatic. This is Smooth J. This is my boy. What's your new name?
Sir 3.
Sir 3. And we want to thank you folks for being here with us. We're here every week, Thursday, Facebook Live on Bar Talk with Jay's page, 7 to 9 p.m. And we hope you've enjoyed the show. I certainly have learned a few things about the world and about my peers' perspective. And I'm really grateful for tonight. I hope you are too. We love you, and we'll look forward to seeing you on next Thursday from 7 to 9. And we're out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.